Sterling also effectively launched what promises to be
all around is the urban hustle and bustle with too many things to do and not enough time. But you walk into these creeks and beside these creeks and it's like there's just the sound of the water and the light on the trees and the sound of the birds. Things are much simpler. It's almost like it's an oasis of peace in the midst of a desert of urban frenzy. It's profoundly peaceful and it feeds the human spirit. And there are places like that on almost every creek in Santa Clara County. The dream of the Santa Clara County Creeks Coalition is that we transform our creeks into living streams with the fish and the birds and the plants that used to live here in profusion, and with trails and access so that people can enjoy the streams. We have a dream of the steelhead trout jumping and swimming their way to the upper watershed where they can spawn and where their nests don't get wiped out by the first rainstorm.
The stream originates in the foothills of Palo Alto. Then the stream sort of winds its way down along the Stevens Creek Canyon, and eventually comes to a reservoir, and eventually then here in this area called Blackberry Farm. Below us or downstream of us to the north, the stream will flow through a little bit of Los Altos and Sunnyvale, and then the bulk of the lower stream is in the city of Mountain View.
The cities have historically focused their decision-making on land use, building permits, development, urban growth. They've seen the water district as the agency to deal with in-stream problems and flood control. The Santa Clara Valley Water District operates a water supply reservoir and also implements flood control projects in the lower watershed. There's been a tendency in the past for flood control projects to be built with a sole purpose, which is to provide flood protection, which means put concrete in the channel to get the water as fast as you can down to the bay.
There are a number of drop structures, large concrete structures, which are there allegedly to protect the stream, but they are passage barriers to fish, and they certainly don't look very natural.
One of the key issues for the health of our creeks and streams is whether there is vegetation adjacent to the creek channel and the stream channel and how diverse that vegetation is. So when you go in and you channelize a creek or a stream and you strip out all of the understory, maybe all of the trees, or maybe you leave a few remnant trees, you've pretty much eliminated all of the habitat. The most obvious thing to look at are the bird species that we see, and whether we see them in abundance or whether we see them rarely. And when we don't see them in abundance, then we start to worry about the health of our streams.
We have a dream of flood control, not with concrete and barren channels, but with trees and water and living streams. Ever since 1997, the Santa Clara Valley Water District has established watershed stewardship as part of how it does its business. And so we have examples of 100 feet of beautification here, 100 feet there, and then 1,000 feet of pipes and concrete. This is a good step towards environmental stewardship, but we need to take the next step. There's a need for a partnership between the cities and the water district. So the water district needs to take its core mission and add stream restoration to it and begin to look at its investments in streams, not only as water supply, not only as flood control, but also for stream restoration. This is going to take changes in design process, and it's going to take community will to say this is what the community wants, even if it costs a little more. It requires citizens to be very active, to be advocates, to tell their elected officials, this is important to us. If you share our dream, I hope you'll join us. Thank you. Wishita dooia dooia dooia, wishita dooia dooia hey, wishita dooia dooia dooia, wishita dooia dooia hey, washatanaya heya heya, washatanaya heya hey, Wishita dooya, 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 Wishita dooya,